So about a week since my initial call out about doing the swing set over here, had my neighbor come over. We had a play date with chainsaws, if you will. And he came over. He has a imitation steel, but it's got a good sized bar. I think it's an 18 or a 24 inch even. I don't even know how big that bar is, but I was using steel. It's just an MS 170. It's a 16-inch bar. Small guy, but for what I'm doing, I'm not trying to clear a lot, right? That's not the type of work I do, so I don't need anything big. But what we were able to do, and you can kind of see behind me, this big dead guy here, is we took out quite a few trees, at least 7 or 8 from the ones that were already down. I've gone ahead and I've piled a lot of the brush up there in the corner because I don't really care about that section of the yard. So those are going to sit there, kind of die out, and then I'll cut them down into smaller kindling sizes. I could actually use them in the fire this year. I've got my pile of actual logs, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those up a little bit more with the chainsaw probably the next couple days, and that way I can split those, put them on the rack, let them dry out, and use that for wood. Working on my burn pile here. So I got last year's Christmas tree. I tend to like to buy big ones. You see the tops cut off. They're usually about 12 feet tall. Pile of just some sticks and leaves in this area that I raked out, and then that fresh pine that I'm going to dump. You can see here I got one tree that we took down. It's a pretty good sized guy. There was the double up here, which if I can get that video clipped in here, I will. It's a little short clip that shows my triumph, if you will, of this guy, because this is a double tree. Went up pretty tall, and it was actually heading towards the pool. And so what we have here, it's kind of interesting to note, is these guys. If you look here, we have these. These are invasive grapes, is what they're called. They're invasive vines. And some of them down here get pretty thick. You can see all the gnarled mist up there. And even right here, you can see just how big these guys get. I mean, they get pretty large. And I've taken the time over the last few years to get into the woods and really cut these back. But I cut down, I did this tree first, right there, because there did the vines on him, and he started leaning that way. Pushed him a little more that way so that when we cut down the big guy here, it helped take him down. And so I'll put the clip in there now, and I'm going to stop the video so that you guys can see that, and I'll come back in a second.
Success. Good luck.
All right, this dude right here, this big mass of just dead tree, came down actually yesterday. So there was a bunch of vines like this that were hanging off the top of him. He went up about as tall as that guy did, and he was hanging down here. So I literally just grabbed those vines with my bare hand, pulled on them a couple times, gave it a good few yanks. It started snapping at the back, and the whole thing just collapsed on itself. And you can see this guy was going to come down anyway. I mean, he's just dead, completely dead inside. So saved me from having to worry about anything happening over here with the yard, if there was a swing set or the kids or whatever, because there was nothing else here for that tree to fall against to offer any protection. So we went ahead. So this is the area here. So this will be the square for the trampoline. That's going to be the rectangle for the playground. And then I can come back here and get my lawn back. I actually, if I turn the camera a little bit, I did open up a little bit more sunlight, but for the way the sun travels here, this lily tree will give me some good shade in the afternoon. That gives me my shade in the morning. So there's only going to be a short couple hour period where there'll be sun just directly on it, but not enough to cause any issue with heat or making the surfaces unusable for the kids. But like I said, I've got a good area cleared, considering this is all pretty much big tall trees. My property still goes back quite a bit into the woods over here before I get to the end. So not a big deal. I'm actually right next to where my shed is, so we're in good shape. The other thing I wanted to note is I did not end up renting a tractor with a backhoe and a bucket on it to do any of the clearing here. I'm actually working my father-in-law because he knows everybody. has a guy that has machinery and does land clearing as a job. He came out here and gave me a really good price. So I'm going to go ahead and go with him. I'm going to have him come back here and do the work. I'm clearing this out so I have wood and lumber and what I need. He's just going to come back here, dig out these stumps that I've got around here, chuck them back farther, grade this down a little bit to kind of break up the soil and kind of pull it back, just to level it a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to be putting down the playscape with the mulch and everything else, and then we're going to start doing the stone in the front. I went and got some a look at some of that today, but honestly, for the price of the machine, I was just between the $300-400 range, closer to $400 by the time I was all done, to have the machine here for a day, and to have that, and would have been fun to play with. But my time versus what he's charging me for basically his machine and the labor, they were pretty close. So I said, just come and do it, and he's going to come take care of this the next week. So this will all be cleared out, and we'll get that on camera when that's done, and we'll move on. We'll get into the build phase, because that's what the kids are waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for. And it'll be a lot of fun. So stick around, and we'll see if we get some more likes, some more views, and this will be up hopefully before this opens up. I got till Labor Day-ish, or not Labor Day, Memorial Day, to get that open. And by then the kids will be playing out there with the swing set, and I can get this stupid trampoline off my grass so I can actually start growing and getting my lawn back into shape. You can see it's a complete mess back here right now, just from me moving trampolines around, from just being not getting, and again, I'm actually gonna get more light back here now, so this part in here might grow a little better. But we'll work on that this fall when we do a big overseed, and I'm gonna show you what I'm using, because I'm not very big on necessarily making sure I have the Black Beauty Ultra or Super Seed Store or GCI. They're not bad products. They're all great. They have their place. I had really good success with something else that I use, and I will show you. It might not have the percentages everybody likes, but you know what? We all manage weeds and inert materials anyway with our placement of seed, regardless of what it is. We're always battling something, and I'll tell you what, I didn't have a lot of weeds to battle when I put this in, but when we get there, I'll show you what I ended up using and what it ended up doing for my lawn. We'll touch on that in another video. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys next time.